Hello, it's Reese and Revelry back with some more mmorpg news, and today we're talking about Lord of the Rings Online. I have a little bit of a special relationship with Lord of the Rings Online, as unlike Dungeons and Dragons Online, I've actually got the box copy of it here, sitting here. I bought this game back in 2007 when it first launched, and I remember specifically playing minstrels, because I enjoyed playing bards, which is kind of felt on to today. Now, obviously, this has sort of piqued my interest and has come into the wider view, especially with how Standing Stone Games now has control over and owns Dungeons and Dragons Online and Lord of the Rings Online. But not dwelling too much on mmorpg's article, they obviously list the fact that there has been a producer letter, which we're going to go into, discussing there has been further updates to the game, alongside VIP updates and the sort of notice of a new expansion, which we'll go on to now, with the producer's letter for March 2022. So if they get the preamble out of the way, the update, which is update 33 to Lord of the Rings Online, is expected in late April to kick off the 15th year anniversary celebration, which is kind of dissimilar. It's quite similar to the fact that Dungeons and Dragons Online has had its 16th anniversary, which is unfortunately ending presumably this weekend, which is the weekend of the 19th and 20th of March 2022. Now, they've obviously advised that there's going to be the first expansion in a while called Yonder Shire, which is an area of the Shire region, which was originally launched and sort of War in the North, etc. But as obviously the first expansion in the Shire in years, there's going to be some interesting content for a lot of new and returning players, alongside those who are currently sitting at the end game. Naturally, it's the same sort of consideration with Standing Stone Games and the fact that they are currently considering and releasing Isle of Dread, which is an expansion for Dungeons and Dragons Online later in the year. So despite the fact these games are on a free-to-play model primarily, they are still releasing content in the forms of expansion packs fairly regularly in regards to these updates. The second point of the producer video, or producer letter, advises that they are going to do an anniversary of festival for the 15th year anniversary, with more details on the way. Naturally the same as a sort of a Dungeons and Dragons Online 16th anniversary sort of thing, with a niche event to do with some rewards, etc. Thirdly, they have made some interesting updates to the VIP system, allowing for different expansions, which is not really elaborated on because fourth one, and long requested, they made some changes to the Lord of the Rings Online store, inclusive due to the fact of Rangers and Ruin. They brought some changes to the premium wallet, gold currency cap, virtue, race, and CAS trait slots, which were made free to all players as a result of that update. And with update 33, they are unlocking the high elf race for all players, including all the classes that they can play, which ties on neatly to the fact that Runekeepers, Wardens, and Bjornlings, which were a restricted class beforehand, are being now made for free to all players, including free-to-play ones. And again, much similar to how what Dungeons and Dragons Online has done with its anniversary event, they are now releasing all content between the original box game, back in 2007, good old box, and all the way up to Helm's Deep, which was, as they said by there, up to content level 95, which is obviously a wide span of content which you're getting to get for free. And they have more announcements online on the way. And obviously they do then go into some further recommendations for those players who are still VIP regarding higher end content at level 130 at that level cap, including then other elements of the game as well, before finishing off the article with notices regarding improving performance, lag, bug fixes, client balances, the whole shebang, which is the same thing they did in Dungeons and Dragons Online as well, especially because there's no lag in DDO, as it's famously said. So, what do I think about this? The sort of end shenanigans for the video. I'm quite happy. I mean, I'm very happy to see that Lord of the Rings Online is still going, because when I was, obviously, referring back to the good old box set here, when I was back in my kid and childhood, back in 2007, I was primarily a WoW player, and I ended up getting to Lord of the Rings Online because I absolutely loved the movies. I absolutely loved the game back when it was on a pay-to-play model, and I kind of drifted away from it, but it's always stayed in the specific, sort of element of my heart, given the fact that it is made of a very famous and a very well-beloved IP. And the fact that it's still continuing to go is a sort of recommendation, honestly, to Standing Stone Games for keeping the game going, even in a free-to-play model. Naturally, there are some issues with regards to what you charge, etc., but that's sort of notwithstanding the issue, because once again, it is a credit to the team who are behind Lord of the Rings Online for keeping the game going. I'm going to sort of echo some further points to this as well. It is a very good time for new players to start playing both this game and Dungeons & Dragons Online, because there is a wealth of content, especially more so with Lord of the Rings Online that has now been released. The fact you would be able to go up to level 95 and just continue to blast through that content is going to last you months, and then by the time you go through that process, you're probably going to be wanting to get more content anyway, meaning that you've pretty much got a whole package in store. With that said, well, that's the time for the end of the video. If you like the video, please feel to like and subscribe, because for more MMORPG content, and find me on my Twitch. But otherwise, have a good day. Hi, it's Recent Reverie, and thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe, because it really helps out the channel, and it'll help me decide on what you guys want to do and what you want me to do, and, you know, actually angle the channel towards what is going to come out. If you are interested in other videos, feel free to look down below, and if Reese has timed this right, it'll have the other videos there, or at least a playlist, or another video, maybe an icon. Other than that, take care. Hope to see you around.